On February 1st, 1921, rescue crews boarded a massive 5-masted schooner stranded on the treacherous shoals of North Carolina, only to find a perfectly prepared hot meal waiting on the stove, but not a single living soul on board. While the cargo, the crew's personal belongings, and even the captain's navigation logs were completely intact, the ship's lifeboats were missing, suggesting a sudden, terrifying evacuation that made absolutely no sense. This was the Carroll A, Deering, a state-of-the-art commercial vessel that had been sailing smoothly back to Maine after delivering a massive shipment of coal to Rio de Janeiro. But as investigators dug into the ship's final voyage, they realized the mystery did not begin at the shipwreck site, but weeks earlier in a tense, claustrophobic atmosphere out at sea. The trouble started when the ship's original, highly respected captain fell gravely ill before departure and had to be replaced at the very last second. The replacement captain, Willis Wormel, was a grumpy, 66-year-old veteran who immediately clashed with his highly rebellious and disgruntled crew. Wormel openly complained to friends during a brief stop in Delaware that he did not trust his crew, specifically citing his arrogant first mate, Charles McClellan. McClellan was a hot-tempered man who openly sneered at the captain's authority, creating a dangerous power struggle in the middle of the ocean. In fact, while docked in the Bahamas, a drunken McClellan was overheard boasting that he would take control of the ship and get rid of Captain Wormel before the voyage ended. Yet, despite this looming threat of mutiny, the ship departed the Bahamas on January 16th, heading north into the treacherous waters of the Atlantic. What happened over the next 10 days remains a black hole of historical record, as no official communications were received from the Deering. Then, on January 29th, the Deering passed a lightship off the coast of Cape Lookout, North Carolina, and hailed the keeper using a megaphone. But the lightship keeper noticed something deeply unsettling about this seemingly routine communication. The man shouting through the megaphone was not the captain or the first mate, but a thin, red-haired crewman who spoke with an unfamiliar accent. This mysterious crewman reported that the Deering had lost both of its anchors in a storm, but his casual, almost cheerful demeanor did not match the severity of the situation. Even stranger, the crew on the deck of the Deering were seen milling around aimlessly, ignoring the standard naval discipline expected on a commercial vessel. Because the lightship's radio was broken, the keeper could not immediately relay the message about the lost anchors to the mainland. 3 days later, the Deering was spotted early in the morning, hard aground on the notorious Diamond Shoals, a graveyard of ships off Cape Hatteras. The ship was fully rigged with all sails set, run straight onto the sandbars at high speed as if steered by a blind man. But rescue boats could not reach the vessel for days because of a massive, raging storm that battered the coast of North Carolina. When the weather finally cleared on February 1st, Coast Guard boarding parties climbed up the side of the silent, dripping vessel. The boarding party prepared themselves to find bodies, but instead, they found a ghost ship devoid of any human presence whatsoever. In the galley, pots of food were still sitting on the stove, and table settings were laid out for the next meal, indicating the crew expected to eat very soon, on _screen_ text. Yet, the captain's quarters were a scene of utter confusion, stripped of all navigation equipment, the ship's logbook, and the captain's personal trunk. But here's the twist. While the captain's navigation tools were gone, all of the crew's personal items, clothing, and even their boots were left behind. No sailor in his right mind would willingly evacuate a ship into the freezing Atlantic winter without his boots and heavy outer clothing. This bizarre clue immediately sparked a massive joint investigation by the FBI, the Navy, and the Commerce Department, led by Herbert Hoover himself. They investigated 5 distinct theories to explain how an entire crew could vanish into thin air without leaving a single trace. The first and most obvious theory was a mutiny, led by the rebellious first mate McClellan, who had threatened the captain just weeks prior. Under this theory, the mutineers overthrew Captain Wormel, threw him overboard, and later abandoned the ship when they realized they could not navigate it. But if they mutinied, why did they prepare a hot meal and set the tables right before leaving the ship in a panic? This led investigators to a second, more sinister possibility. the terrifying rise of modern piracy in the early 20th century. Rumors swirled that a ruthless pirate vessel was raiding shipping lanes, capturing crews, and scuttling ships to steal valuable cargo. However, the Deering's valuable cargo of coal was completely untouched, and the ship itself was not scuttled, making piracy highly unlikely. Then, the United States government received a shocking letter that pointed to a third, politically charged theory. A bottle washed up on a North Carolina beach containing a note that claimed a Bolshevik submarine had captured the Deering and its crew. This note triggered a wave of Red Scare paranoia across America, but forensic experts soon proved the letter was a complete hoax written by a local fisherman. The fourth theory focused on the Arrow itself, the heights of Prohibition, suggesting the Deering was targeted by rum runners. Investigators wondered if the crew had hijacked their own ship to smuggle illegal alcohol, but no liquor was ever found on board the vessel. This left only the fifth and most terrifying theory, a sudden violent natural disaster, known as a rogue wave or a waterspout. Diamond Shoals is famous for sudden, violent weather events that can overwhelm a ship in seconds, causing instant panic. Proponents of this theory argue the crew saw a massive waterspout heading straight for them and panicked, fleeing in the lifeboats. But if they fled in panic from a storm, why would they take the captain's logbook and navigation equipment, but leave their own warm boots behind? Furthermore, no trace of the Deering's lifeboats or its crew was ever found, despite a massive search of the surrounding ocean. In late 1921, the government officially closed the investigation without reaching any definitive conclusion, leaving the case forever unsolved. The Carroll A. Deering itself was eventually dynamited to prevent it from becoming a hazard to other ships, taking its secrets to the bottom. The true tragedy of the Carroll A. Deering lies in how it reflects our deepest fear of the sea, a place where entire lives, stories, and struggles can be completely erased in a single moment, leaving behind only silent, empty rooms to haunt our imagination.